We're here at the UNF softball complex with a special feature interview. Head softball coach Jeff Conrad announced today officially July 1 as the next head softball coach at North Florida. Congrats again, Jeff. Great to be here this morning with you. It's a little bit humid, but I think we'll get through these questions.
Yeah, no, absolutely great to be here, and appreciate all the well wishes, and it's an honor to be here.
For the people tuning in today, obviously some of those student athletes that have been here and families know you, but obviously some people are having their first introduction to you. Give a brief introduction of yourself.
Yeah, so I've been here, just finished my 7th season. The great record-breaking season we had last year with 42 wins. But 7 years, Marcy and Coach Moon brought me here 7 years ago after my initial year as a volunteer at UCF. Had a great run in that year at UCF. Went 50-9, one of the all-time great seasons in UCF program history, and was really fortunate to have a lot of opportunities. And Marcy ultimately sold me on, Florida was home and the vision for what this had in store, and came here, bought into everything, and came in right away. Started working with the offense. Spent some time working with the infielders, did a lot with the defense. And as things kind of evolved over the years, focused mainly on the offense, took over as the recruiting coordinator. And really the one thing I will say is I thought very appreciative for what Marcy did for me from the time I got here in terms of recognizing that this was probably my destination at some point, and just preparing me for it, getting me involved with everything, whether it's working with you guys in sports information, marketing, game planning, scouting reports, scheduling, you name it. I had a little bit of a hand in on everything, and and honestly, I can't say it enough. I mean, I think without the preparation, everything that she installed in me for this particular moment, I probably wouldn't be here without it.
This past 18 hours, I'm sure it's been a whirlwind of emotions for you. Obviously, it's a different scenario where you know people here at North Florida, you've been here, but still, it means a lot to you, I'm sure, to be able to continue to build on what you've built as an associate and assistant. What's that, past, half day been like for you?
It's been crazy, to be honest. It felt like I slept for maybe about 20 minutes. It just seemed like I had a million different thoughts running through my head. Everything from the time I met with Nick yesterday afternoon, and we came to the decision that this was the direction we were going to go, and just walking from the moment I walked out of his office, I don't feel like I felt my feet hitting the ground. And it wasn't probably until this morning that I actually realized, okay, I'm up and walking around again. But yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. I mean, very humbling, overwhelming with the amount of support, people reaching out. I can't name everyone, but obviously it's been tremendous, just the support, whether it's been our current kids, past kids, future kids, colleagues in the coaching industry, former people I've come into contact with, just everybody reaching out, and it's meant a lot. I've tried to answer every single one. It's been a little bit overwhelming. I had to charge my phone more times than I'm used to, but I tried to answer everyone, and I will at some point, but if not, if I haven't gotten to you yet and you see this, just know how much it's meant to me and how much I've appreciated it.
Yeah, so what was that first thing that you did after you got the news? Obviously you came in, you talked in our office as well, but yeah. Do you remember?
Yeah, I learned, obviously I'm newly married, be 2 years in October. The first thing I did was I grabbed the pen when Nick put it on the desk in front of me, and I said, you know what, I'm slowly learning this husband thing, and I said, let me step outside and call my wife first, and put the pen down, went out and did that, and ran everything through with her. And obviously she's been a big proponent of our families here and staying close, and just being completely bought into everything that we've started here at UNF, and everything kind of feels like a blur after that, to be honest with you. I remember Marcy calling at some point, and we had a good long talk. I remember having a conversation with my parents. It was exciting to have that call. Really emotional time for my parents. So that was really neat, and really just spent the better portion of last night working on kids that we've been talking to in the portal, and trying to get everything set up and finalized with that. And like I said, I felt exhausted, but I felt like I couldn't sleep. Every time I thought, okay, this is the moment I'm going to fall asleep, it was a new idea or new thought or something. And there'll be plenty of time to sleep towards the end of the summer.
Yeah, it's kind of that time where you're probably going to need a notepad next to your bed. So if you wake up, you got to write something down, right? You arrive here from UCF. Marcy brings you on board. Went from assistant to associate. Just you touched on it briefly, but share what you would like about some of those things that people maybe don't know that you did here, that you helped contribute towards North Florida softball in those 7 years you've already been here.
Yeah, I mean, really the one great thing when I got here is Marcy kind of handed the keys to the offense over to me and said, it's a blank slate, do with it whatever you want, whatever you think is appropriate, I trust you. And kind of brought in a system that I had kind of spent a lot of time thinking about, preparing. Been really fortunate to have some really tremendous mentors in this profession that I've had, been able to reach out to and have access to, and really just been kind of formulating ideas, over the years, and kind of got to work year one and installing that. And, the first year I think we set the school record batting average in a season, and gradually took on more and more of the role with recruiting. So with that, Marcy kind of gradually gave more and more of the recruiting responsibility over to me. And, I think when I first got here year one, I think there were 2 kids from outside of the state of Florida on the roster. And, to where we were last year, I think we were pretty much close to 50-50 in terms of, in-state kids, out-of-state kids. Really focused on making North Florida softball a national brand where we could recruit coast to coast. And, even in that time period, we brought in some international kids. We have Skylar on the roster currently from Toronto, and we had VK come in from the Czech national team. So I guess I say coast to coast, but even somewhat international in that process. But just really passionate about the recruiting side of things. I think it's your program's as good as the kids that you can recruit and bring into it. Obviously, we've got a role in developing them and doing all that stuff when they get here, but being able to get into the living rooms of those top flight kids. Obviously, we've got a lot to sell here, and it's a pretty easy sell if you can get into the living room. So that's been a focus, and those have really been the main things. Last year I kind of did less with the defense. Obviously, as our facility and stuff began to improve, we've been able to change a little bit of our practice structure and stuff, and pretty much lived in the cage with the kids primarily. And Marcy kind of took over all the defensive stuff, and I thought it really worked great. I thought it enabled us to be more efficient with our practices and stuff. So wasn't as involved with the defense, but I just, the defensive side of things, especially middle infield play, something I'm super passionate about. I think it's really easy to get excited and passionate about hitting. It takes a little bit more to have that same kind of energy and passion on the defensive side, but that's always something that's come really easy for me.
You mentioned it, won 42 games last year as a special team. You've brought people from California, like you said, coast to coast. You have some of those pieces coming back, but what is kind of in store? What do you think would need to happen, try to replicate that?
So I mean, we obviously lost a good portion of our production in that senior class. Kids like Kayla McGorry, who's left her at times blood, sweat, and tears, and everything else, her thumbprint all over this program. Paige Fent, who's just been a rock for us from the minute she got here. And there's many more. I mean, I don't want to leave anybody out, so I know it can be a dangerous thing getting into names, but everybody that we lost last year played a significant impact of what we accomplished. I thought really the thing that set us up for that success was the way we recruited. Obviously the transfer portal was a huge part of it. Being able to plug holes where we had immediate needs. Bringing in kids like Savannah Chanel to plug a hole at shortstop, and bringing in 2 kids like Kia and Haley Bejarano from UCF. And these were all kids that had that postseason experience, had been to regionals, succeeded in regionals. I think that was vital for us. So moving forward, I think it's real easy for everybody to look at our situation. Obviously, transition year with the coaching staff, and losing as many seniors as we did and the production that we lost, and think of it as being a rebuilding year, and we'll have a really young team. We'll have some growing pains early and stuff like that, but we'll have a team that'll get better each week, and I'm excited about the opportunities for these kids coming in. I think we've got a good class coming in. We've got some kids from some really productive and experienced programs. So I think that was key for us in terms of being able to plug immediate needs. We've got kids that have played on the big stage and won't be intimidated. They'll go through that growth process as every true freshman does, of acclimating to the game. But they've played in PGF championship games and stuff like that. So I don't think there'll be a moment that's too big for them. So that's kind of why I say we'll get better each week. I think as they get more comfortable and grow. And we've got a really good group coming back, obviously, too. Hallie Aaron's won 20 games. Izzy Kelly threw more innings for us last year, comes from a great program, in James Madison. And, I think we've got a Player of the Year candidate in left field in Shannon Glover. I think Savannah's a kid that'll continue to evolve. Obviously a great defensive shortstop, but I think she really grew a lot offensively as the year went on, and I think she's eventually a Player of the Year type candidate. But we've got some key pieces. We've got a key returning piece where you have to have it in the circle, which I think is huge. And really excited about this group coming in, the ability to work with them, and then obviously we'll continue to try and plug some holes via the portal and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit about that on-field stuff that you want to bring onto the scene in 2023. What are some of those things that maybe people on the outside don't necessarily think about that's on your mind that you want to help implement in this program? Whether it's reaching out to certain people or other things that will help make the program successful.
The two biggest things I think for me is going to be that alumni connection. We're going to be super involved with getting the alumni involved. I want them a part of this program. I want them to feel a part of this program. I want them to be present. I want them to be around our kids. I want our kids to be in touch with them. We'll do some things to really escalate some of that communication between our current players and alums. I have some ideas and thoughts in mind with that. But I want them here. I want them at practice. I want them to be visible. I want them to share their experiences. I want them around our new building. We have a great new building, a great new facility. I want them there. I want them recognized in that building. I want when our kids come in to work every day, that they see those people that have built the foundation of what they're playing on right now, and really be invested in carrying on those traditions. So I think that's going to be a really important thing for me initially to get started with, is just building those alumni connections and getting them more involved and feeling a part of this. We've got some great players that fell just short of that regional experience, but I'm a big believer that tradition never graduates, and this program is going to experience that final step at some point, and every kid that's been a part of this program at some point is going to be there and be a part of that when we do. The other key thing I think is obviously we've gotten some really good financial support, not only from administration but also from donors, and I think really reestablishing those connections. Reaching out to them, letting them know how much we appreciate it, letting them know how much we need them involved will be a big part of the process. Glenn Ross is obviously somebody that's been huge for us over the past couple of years, and it was a great connection that Marcy had with him, and I was really fortunate that a lot of the interaction she had with him that she included me on, and feel really comfortable with Glenn, and he's on my list of one of the first people I want to contact. But really, and there's many people, that I need to be in contact with and let them know, like what my vision is and what we're trying to do and how important they'll be in us, achieving that.
Touched on it a little bit, but what are some of those longer term goals that you would like this program to work towards and achieve? Yeah. And, what makes North Florida softball a program that can do those things?
I want to over the next couple of years, I want to change that word rebuild to reload. I don't want us to use that word rebuild anymore. And it's something that can be done. It takes a lot of hard work, takes a lot of commitment, good recruiting, things like that. But that's something that, we'll be focused on. We've had some intermittent success. We've had some struggles maintaining it. We need to do a better job with that, year in, year out, be that team that's, in that top three conversation. I know our kids too they're really passionate about giving back. I think being able to do that and put them out in the community, be recognized, will be a big thing that we'll look at doing. I know they want to run camps, they want to be around kids, they want to give back. So we'll try and create that environment where they can do those kind of things. You know, like I said, just continue to install some core values within the program that we can fall back on. That's going to be our identity. That can hopefully enable us to continue that success from a year-to-year basis. I think those are some of the things that I see being, you know, long-term fixtures here in this program and be kind of the identity of what we are.
For you, been here 7 years, and that's in itself a testament that you're committed to North Florida. Why, for you personally, North Florida, and why Jacksonville? Yeah. Just sharing that to the world.
Yeah, I mean the kids. You know, I mean the kids first and foremost. You know, I mean, of coming here to being a part of this vision, to wanting to be a part of something special, being part of something that hasn't been done here before. You know, I mean that's something that's never been lost on me. Their belief in us as a staff, their belief in me as their, you know, lead recruiter. You know, I think I owe that back to them, that loyalty, and that's what I'm all about. I think the other key element in that is just the support from the administration. From the time I've been here to where our facility has grown is just astronomical. It's almost not even recognizable compared to what it was when I first got here, and I think a lot of that has to do with, you know, the leadership at the time of Coach Moon, and obviously now the new leadership of Nick Morrow. I absolutely love his vision, love what he's all about, love what he stands for. I think he's got big things in mind for our program, and you know, just sitting there and talking through a lot of these things with him. I mean, he realizes a lot of the, you know, the popularity that our sport has. It's never been bigger than it is now. You know, and I know one of the people that's really been important to me through this process, obviously, is Patrick Murphy, and he's been a great mentor to me. And I know one of the things he often says is, if you're an AD out there, invest in our sport. You know, and I really think our AD Nick Morrow's 100% bought into that vision. You know, I think, you know, the talks that I've had with him completely sold me. You know, and I'm excited for everything he's got in store for us. And you know, my thoughts, my visions, you know, combining with his, I think, you know, it's going to be a great thing for us moving forward.
Yeah, we can just see in the background behind us the wall padding, and you know, I was looking through some old archive photos a couple weeks ago for various projects, and yeah, it is amazing the glow up of our complex.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you would have told me 7 years ago when I first got here that the ASUN tournament would be hosted here at some point, I'd have probably told you you're crazy. But looking back on having that opportunity this past season, obviously what that made available to our student athletes was tremendous. But the amount of people that reached out and just were in awe of how beautiful our facility looked on TV, and you know, and again, it's the donors that bring things like the wall padding and stuff like that that really make this place, you know, that much easier to sell to recruits and stuff like that. But you're right. I mean, it's remarkable when you look at 7 years ago to today, and you know, I know it's one of the things Marcy and I spent a lot of time talking about, and I know, you know, one of the things that was really important to her when, you know, she realized that this was going to be the end was just spending those last couple of moments just out here on the field, just looking around and seeing how much it's grown. And, you know, I think that was something that was really special for her.
Yeah, we've shared a lot about the program itself. Have a go at sharing a little bit about yourself to people, what you want to share, you know, hometown, yeah, you know, background, where you went to college.
Yeah, so I'm from Frankfort, Illinois. Suburbs of Chicago, south suburbs of Chicago, about 35 minutes outside of the city. You know, my parents, my dad was an executive for Sears, was born in New York City, and then at a young age, I think it was around 7, he got transferred to Chicago to work out of the Sears Tower, and we made the move, and you know, obviously, you know, one of the things that's always stuck with me through that process is my dad's journey to work every day. It would have been real easy to live downtown and have an easy commute to work, but, you know, he chose to live, you know, where he rode the train an hour every morning to work, you know, so my sister and I had an opportunity to, you know, go to the best schools, be a part of the best athletic programs and stuff like that, and, you know, learned a lot about sacrifice and stuff through that time. So, yeah, I grew up playing baseball and hockey. My dad put a hockey stick in my hands at a very young age. My mom played field hockey, so it kind of became a natural fit, for me at a young age. And, when it became time as a kid growing up in Chicago to make a decision, more of my friends played baseball than they did hockey, so it was a pretty easy choice, I think, for me. And, I was really fortunate to play in a great program at Lincoln Way. And, Coach Bernhard, who was my coach in high school, I recently ran into him on the recruiting trail. He had grandkids that were playing, and it was really neat to catch up with him and just let him know the impact he's had on me in my life. And had an opportunity. Was really fortunate to have a baseball scholarship to go and play in college, and went and did that. I went to Valparaiso University. It was a great fit for me from the standpoint of my parents have always been a huge part of, my upbringing, and I felt it was important to be somewhere where they could continue on that journey with me. Being 2 hours from home, they were able to be at just about every game, and, it got a little bit tougher when I have a younger sister, 3 years younger, that ended up committing and playing at Michigan, and we were both overlapping for a year, and seeing my parents being split, I know was a bit of a challenge, but I think that was something that was important to both of us, was just, how important of a role our parents played, in our careers as youths, and, never forced us into athletics, as being something that they were involved in. But they always said, if it's something you want to do, we're going to give you every chance to be successful, and obviously super appreciative of that. So, yeah, I went to Valpo, had a great experience there, and was really fortunate, about the time that my sister was enrolling at Michigan. I had to do an internship to graduate, and, it just had gotten to a point where just playing wasn't something I wanted to do anymore. And, went to Michigan, had a great opportunity to get an internship that Coach Hutchins helped set up for me, and was super fortunate first year in 1997, got assigned to the Michigan football team. Doing a lot of what you're doing, working in media relations, and had the best seat in the house for a season. Stood on the sidelines for the games, and about mid-fourth quarter, I'd get a list from my boss in the press box of all the players he wanted to meet with, and got to be in the locker room for post-game talks, and collecting players, and was rubbing shoulders with Tom Brady and Charles Woodson in those days, and just there's still things that I remember about them, from those days that still, have an impact as me now being a coach. But, so had a tremendous experience there, at Michigan, and kind of journeyed out a little bit to the non-athletics world, for a while. Thought it'd be cool to make real money. And, as you know, athletics it's awesome. It's great. It doesn't feel like work, but it's not always the most financially rewarding thing. And, worked in the real world, as I would say, for 10 or so years, and had a real 9-to-5, dressing like this every day, and working in sales. And I think a lot of that experience has kind of really helped me as a recruiter, to be honest with you. And I'm really thankful for those experiences, but figured out through that process that ultimately there was something missing. And through some soul searching and stuff, found out that it was that competitive, athletics being gone in my life was something that I really missed. And, but, really working a 9-to-5 every day dressed like this taught me what a tough day looks like. A long day on the recruiting trail is nothing compared to that. I mean, these days are easy for me compared to that. And when you love what you're doing, it's easy to do. So, really fortunate that change paid off. And there was some struggles obviously involved with that, and some low times, but, tremendous support from my parents, Ted and Joy Conrad, have always been there for me. My girlfriend at the time, now my wife, Amy, has just been tremendous. Just always supported me and said, this is what you're meant to do. We'll make it happen. And, can't thank those people enough. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of been my journey. High school coach in the Tampa area for 6 years, and was really fortunate to be approached by Ray Seymour with the Tampa Mustangs organization, and he entrusted me with his 18-goal program, and really built that up to something that was really my own. And in the course of 2 years, I think we put 19 kids in Division I programs, and we had kids at UCLA and all over the country, and really enjoyed just developing talent and giving passing on everything I've learned and giving kids to have, the opportunity to have that same experience I did, and just really fell in love with it at that point and became a passion, and realized that this college journey would probably be the next step, and been really blessed to be where I am today as a result.
It's a cool story, I'm sure, for you, just to know that decision you made to go into a new area of the world and new work field paid off. And I'm sure it's come full circle a little bit for you right now.
Just I think having that firm belief in yourself, it goes a long way. And, I tell our kids that all the time, believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing. If somebody tells you can't do it, go out and prove them wrong, things like that. So, yeah, full circle is a great way to sum it up, to be honest.
Anything else that you want to share?
I think obviously, taking over a role as the head coach, I've got to put myself out there and be, obviously the head of the program now, and allow people to get to know me and learn more about me. I think obviously I have a great story to tell, and I'm now in a position to tell it, and be happy to do so. And I think just a couple things. I guess I would just add to it. Things about me, whether you want to call them fun facts or interesting things. I was kind of cursed growing up in Chicago, and I was there for the glory days of the Bulls, and Michael Jordan was a big deal. And I think becoming a sneakerhead was a natural thing for me. I absolutely love sneakers, passionate about it. Probably have over 150 pairs of Jordans and different shoes. I mean, that's kind of my jam right there. I love Jordans. I know the wife sometimes doesn't always enjoy seeing that UPS truck pull up and drop the box off at the front door, but something I absolutely love, and I know it's been something that we've got a lot of kids in our program that are all about sneakers, and it's been a real easy connection for me with a lot of them in that regard. I think the other thing that people would know about me is I love hockey. I'm super passionate about hockey. I still skate. I still play. It's my escape. From the Mondays when we get those NCAA off days. I get on the skates and the gear and I go out and play a little bit, and that's my happy place, so to speak. To me, there's nothing like NHL playoffs in professional sports. The chase for that trophy is unlike any other in any sport. Absolutely love it. I guess that would be probably something else. And obviously, I'm very superstitious. That would probably be the other thing. Baseball and hockey, I think I was kind of cursed in that regard. That I didn't really have much of a choice. But I'm pretty to the extreme. I have to have a Chick-fil-A sweet tea before every game, and just routines and superstitions are a big part of who I am. And I know there were times probably drove Marcy a little bit nuts or whatever, just taking me out of my comfort zone with some of those routines. But I think those would be probably three things that people who maybe don't know me would be just introspective things for them to learn a lot about me.
Very hot outside. I appreciate you taking time. I'm sure a lot of people will be reaching out to you and expressing their congratulations to you, and looking forward to having the softball community in North Florida continue to get to know you, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate this opportunity, and I appreciate everything you do, obviously, for our program over the years. I mean, I know what it's like to work behind the scenes. It's tireless work, and sometimes you don't always get the appreciation that you deserve, but just know within our program, everything you guys do will always be appreciated. And I really appreciate this opportunity you give me to kind of speak to everyone and give everyone an opportunity to get to know me.